Stardew Valley is a great game, but there's just a couple things in it that just grind my gears, you know? And today we're gonna be going through them from mild inconvenience to extreme agony. Here you go. Bubble spots spawning out of your reach. There's nothing more frustrating when you're down at your fishing place, you're catching some good fish, and you see a bubble spot spawn in. You eagerly run over, and you realize that you actually can't reach it with your current fishing level. It is so annoying. Or when you do end up fishing, there's no bubble spots in sight, but when you're running by your lake on the way to the mines, there's like 3 different bubble spots at the exact same time, and you can't even use them. It's so frustrating. Even worse is when you run up, start fishing, or you go out of your way to get to a bubble spot, like you have to run all the way around the mountain lake, and then it disappears like 1 second later. It's so annoying. The amount of times this has happened to me is absolutely staggering as well. I swear to God, I must be cursed. This one is extremely specific, but if you've played on Ginger Island for a decent amount of time, you've 1000% seen it. So you know, when you first arrive to Ginger Island on the boat, if for whatever reason you keep using it for a while since you don't rush the island pillar straight away like I do, you may have noticed this stupid panning spot right here behind the thing. And I just don't know why, but it seems to spawn here so often, and it's just out of reach because this stupid pole is in the way. I don't know why it spawns, and of course I couldn't get it to spawn when I was looking for clips for this video, but it just always manages to appear somehow, and it makes me so angry. Let's say you find an item and you need to drop it to a friend for whatever reason, and you don't want to use the trade item since it's a big stack of items, and you just keep trying to drop it on the ground, and you just keep picking it up over and over again. It's so annoying, and you have to like take off your magnet rings and drop it in a certain angle and run away as fast as you can, and sometimes you get it and sometimes you won't, and if your friend's super laggy, it's impossible for him to get it, etc. Or you just have an item and you don't really want it, and you just try to drop it on the ground because you don't want to trash it, because who knows, you might pick it up later, and it just keeps coming back to you. I hate this so much. I've done this a few times, and it always manages to be in the most inconvenient locations known to man. Like for example, the first time I did it was when I was trying to eat, and me and my friends were on our way to floor 100 in the Skull Caverns for the first time, and I just went down a ladder, escaping from some monsters of course, and I was attempting to eat some cheese. I think it was cheese. We used cheese for food source at the time instead of salad for whatever reason. And I tried to eat it, and I clicked it, and without even checking to see which prompt had popped up, I accidentally left the Skull Caverns. So that was very annoying. I've also done this another time while doing a cheated run and just kind of messing around. When I was trying to head down to floor 1000 of the Skull Caverns, I made it to floor 400 and did this exact same thing, so I had to make my way back down, and it was so annoying. It's the most frustrating thing ever, and especially if you use the Y tip you found in my other videos, as in you can use Y, quickly get through dialogue. If this hasn't happened to you, it almost certainly will at some point. It's inevitable. Picture this, you're just a normal guy trying to live your life, and you head on into Pelican Town, and you know, you're running around, you're deciding what you want to do that day, and you decide to just check some trash cans. You know, there might be something good in there. You know, even millionaires do this late game like me in Stardew. And then your NPCs get all judgy on you. They're like, "You, what's wrong with you?" And they actually respect you less, which I understand to an extent, but also like, dude, come on. I've made hundreds of millions of dollars. Like, can't you just tell, like, I'm doing this for funsies at this point? Like, really, don't judge me. You guys are super rude. Linus is the only nice guy, because you actually gain friendship with him when you do this. So Linus is a real one, and everyone else is a fake. So we hit 60k subscribers. You've probably noticed the profile picture. However, if we hit 100k very soon, I will change my profile picture to something like this absolute monstrosity. I hate this so much. Subscribe or something. Apparently you guys like seeing me suffer. It's day 1 of a new season, and you're getting prepared to plant all your crops. You've hoed down all your sprinklers, you're getting ready to plant your crops, and you start planting them, and you get to the end, and you're like, oh, I don't have very many seeds left. Hopefully I'll have enough. And you are exactly 1 short. There is nothing more rage-inducing, I tell you. Because it's just kind of like leave that spot empty and be like infinitely mildly infuriated by it, or you have to run all the way back to Pierre's and buy another one. I normally try to avoid this just by buying extra seeds. It's only a couple more gold, and it'll save me from this annoyance. You know, you'd rather have more than too little. It's near the end of spring year 1, and you're just preparing to make sure you got everything you need, and you notice you somehow just forgot 1 community center crop. So you head on over to Pierre, grab yourself a green bean. You know you're missing a green bean. They're kind of forgettable since you can get the other ones through mixed seeds, so I normally get that. So you head home and plant it, and you're just watering it happily. And then it turns to summer, and you look outside and you realize that all your crops are dead, and you never ended up getting that green bean. And you look at the wiki and realize you accidentally missed the growing time by 1 day. In case you're wondering why I used a green bean, it is because I also messed this up using a green bean. So make sure you always have enough time to get down every single crop you need, and don't make dumb mistakes like this. The amount of times I've done this, and sometimes with items that don't really matter, and other times with items that are absolutely critical, and that is just walking up to an NPC and attempting to chat with them, and accidentally gifting them the item you're holding. I've done this with a prismatic shard, and with a literal piece of garbage. Okay, not a literal piece of garbage, it was a broken piece of glasses, but you know, literal garbage. So just make sure that you always have your hands empty, because you might accidentally gift someone something you really need, and might have to restart your day. And if you got an RNG drop on that day, well, you might not get it again. So always be careful. If you have a super expansive farm with a ton of things you need to do every day, you know, you need to wake up, you need to water some crops, you need to collect some animal goods, you need to head over to the desert and collect your tappers with your warp totems, etc. You know, and then you realize it's 4 p.m. by the time you finish all that, and you realize you missed the egg hunt, and you really just wanted to stomp on some children again. It's truly tragic, you know, and you just miss the pop-up somehow. So this is one of the most annoying things, especially for me. It always happens with the moonlight jellies. I normally just go to bed early, which is stupid, I know, since I love the festival so much, but you know, it happens to the best of us. This is probably the biggest annoyance in all of Stardew Valley, especially for me, and this is normally why I mainly play on endgame farms and not the beginner farms that most people prefer, and that is because watering. Watering is just so annoying, especially in the early game, because you got your basic watering can that does 1 tile per with the slow animation. It's so annoying. This recently happened to me. It was day 3 of Stardew Valley on a new save. I'd been saving up and I was planning on buying the backpack upgrade so I could go fishing all day and not having to worry about my inventory space. If you're wondering why I couldn't just use a chest, because the entire point of my challenge was that I could not use chests. So I headed on up with all my money and I realized Pierre's was closed. Somehow it always manages to be the one day of the week that you actually need to go to Pierre's. I swear to God, this guy is the most inconvenient timing known to man. It always manages to happen like when I need these crops to replant in time, or when I need to get this backpack upgrade so I can go mining or something. It's so frustrating. It's also just super annoying when any shop is closed, like you want to head on over to Marnie's and buy some hay for your animals and she is not there, so your animals starve. I really think that she should like set up a system, like a trust system, where you can just buy hay there, because it's kind of irresponsible to let like animals die, in my opinion. Another thing that's also really weird is that for some reason Clint's closes at 4 o'clock instead of 5, like basically every single other store, so you have to really hurry over there if you want to make an upgrade in time before the day ends and it closes. Another shopkeeper one, and that is when you barely run into the shop just in time, like you run in as it turns to 4 o'clock or whatever, and then the person just walks away from the counter like directly in front of you, just completely ignoring you. Like imagine seeing your biggest customer walk into your store and then you just walk away from them and completely ignore. Like if I was an owner, I'd be like, okay, sure, I'm about to close for here. If it's like 2 minutes, I'll do it, you know? So really frustrating. This is one for all of you 100% completioners out there, and it is when you get to the nearing the end of your journey towards 100% and you just need the golden walnuts, or the golden walnuts and a few other things, and you have like 129 out of 30, and you just have absolutely zero clue where the last one is, and you don't get any hints from the birds after 120, so you're just completely screwed. It's so annoying. You can use programs like Stardew Valley Checkup, but if you're on console, you're just kind of completely out of luck. It's actually super stupid and very annoying that this is the thing. Be nice if there was a way to like find it. I don't know, you could donate some key gems or something like that, for example. This is a throwback one, but let's say you're running back from the mines and it's super late at night and you're sprinting into your house, you're about to pass out, and then your cat is standing in your way, and your cat, you have to attempt to just run through it, and if you don't make it in time, you just pass out, and your cat is just like sleeping directly next to it. I'm like, what if you like fall over and crush the cat? This cat needs like some self-preservation instincts, jeez. This one is such a first world problem, but it needs to be mentioned, and that is when you have a nice setup of crops going. You got them all planted on the same day, they're all in sync. You don't have to be like harvesting crops every single day. You have all your crops synced, so you only need to harvest them on like Monday. So you're just waiting for them to grow so you can enact your master plan that you've been working towards. And then the stupid crop fairy comes along and puts all of your crops out of sync. You know, it's totally a blessing to have your crops randomly grown. Definitely helpful. I mean, like, it's helpful in theory, but in practice it just kind of screws everyone over. Okay, even when I'm late game and I have absolutely zero need for wood or sap, it really grinds my gears when I'm chopping down a tree, especially this tree right here. Like, there's literally zero way you can get all of the wood, and it makes me so mad when you chop it down and all the wood just falls into the water. It's so unsatisfying. Like, sure, the sound of all the wood and sap falling into the water is satisfying, but seeing all that stuff gone makes me so mad. And especially this tree in particular, dude, I hate it so much. I want this tree to be removed from the game. Hashtag remove stupid tree where you fish sometimes. Thanks. I know I've been talking a lot about shops and NPC stuff like that, but holy smokes, why does the Adventurers Guild have such inconvenient hours? Like, I normally like to get my shopping done early in the morning, so I don't really have to worry about that. Like, I like buying my seeds early in the morning, I can get them all planted, and I have the rest of the day ahead of me, but for whatever reason, the Adventurers Guild opens at like 2 p.m. Like, why? Like, they're not even real NPCs, they stand there their entire lives. It's so rude, it's very inconvenient, and I really wish they would change it. Darn you, Marlin. Okay, Ben? This one always happens to me while fishing, and that is fishing up a treasure chest, for example, and getting some brand new items that you really want, but your inventory is completely full of things you all want. It's so frustrating. It also happens a lot in Skull Caverns. It's really annoying. Just running out of inventory space in general is super rage-inducing, because you want everything, and you can't just drop it on the ground because it might despawn later if you forget about it. So you just have to like sit there for like 30 seconds doing a mental battle, deciding on what thing you need to throw out. It's so annoying. If you liked this video, go check out this one right now, or else. Yes, that is a threat.